Hey there. Welcome to the Gyro Step, a Milwaukee Bucks podcast, proudly a part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network and GSPN. I am one of your hosts, Ti Windisch. We're presented by Prize Picks, and I'm joined by my aloof co-host, Rohan Katti. Rohan, how's it going? Happy Monday morning.
I'm doing well. Snow on the ground.
Yeah, for
really
you,
confused.
not for me.
Yeah. I should say there is snow on the ground in Chicago.
There might be in Milwaukee. I know there was in Kenosha. I saw they got like 8 inches. So, yeah, I think it's the bottom of the lake. Everyone at the bottom of the lake got hit. Oshkosh did not. I saw some, I think on Saturday night, a couple, but not landing. But yeah, a reminder, it's Wisconsin. It's late enough in the year that at any possible moment, it could be 60 or it could be 20 and snowing.
Yeah. I mean, it is almost the middle of November.
Oh, yeah.
So
can't be mad at it.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. I think it's earlier than last year. I could just be completely wrong.
Yeah.
It's here. So, you know what? I'm doing well. It's cozy season, Ty.
It is.
I'm ready to be all cozied up.
It's cozy season and it's Kuzmania season after I feel like I was more pro, hey, I think Kuzma should play with the starters more on the last pod we did. And my takeaway watching both of the Bucks wins, I should say their win versus the Bulls and their loss against Houston, which I was at in person, which was a bummer. Because if you told me, oh, they lose to Houston by 7 before the game, you're like, okay, Houston's a good team. That's fine. And they were up, 12 or 16, 14, middle of the fourth quarter. And they looked really good. They led after all 3 quarters, and then they ended up blowing it really late in the game, which sucks. But both of those games, my thought was Kuz should probably be playing more late, and we'll get into why. But I just want to ask the question to you this way, Rohan. Am I being taken for a ride here? Am I too high on the Kuzmania supply? You're muted.
Yes. I don't know if I'm all over the place today. I don't know if you are being taken for a ride here, because it is the more sample that we get, the more sustainable and the better it looks. It's not like we caught lightning in a bottle in one game and we've been trying to replicate it ever since, right? This has been an ongoing trend for the Milwaukee Bucks and for Kyle Kuzma that we're starting to see him more and more ingrained with some starting lineups and just some different lineups altogether, and we're seeing good results. It's kind of insane. I feel like I have to come to terms with it a lot more than you, because I was the one that was hammering that this would not work this entire offseason. And I'm not going to feel too bad about myself, because I think that was a pretty solid, educated take at the time. I didn't think Kuzma was going to change the entirety of how he plays basketball to try to fit with this Milwaukee Bucks team, but he kind of has. And it's really, really fun. So no, I don't think you're being taken for a ride. I think you're seeing the evolution of Kyle Kuzma as a player.
Or at least as a Bucks player.
Yes.
Among two-man groupings on the Bucks with at least 50 minutes played, Giannis Kuzma is second best. The Bucks have a net rating of plus 23.7 when Giannis and Kuzma play together. The only one better, Giannis and your guy Taurean Prince, who you said should play more. He's been out the last 2 games with a neck strain. Curiously, before the game, they're like, oh, what's up with Prince? He's out again. They're like, yeah, we still got to get him looked at. And they're like, he's going to be out until we get him looked at? And they're like, yep. Doc's like, yep, he's going to be out. And it's like, can we get that done?
I think that was via Eric Name of The Athletic.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think he asked, so is he just out until he gets the test done? Yep.
Can we get that done?
Maybe do the test then. Have you tried doing the test?
That doctor just doesn't work on weekends, I guess.
Do the test, man.
It's wild. It's like, no time.
It's kind of insane.
Been a busy schedule. We haven't had maybe this week they have a couple off days after the back-to-back concludes tonight. We'll see if they have time to get that test done or not. I don't know.
Don't make him go to Dallas. Let him take this test.
Well, it's Monday, so hopefully the doc is working now. Not like an early Christmas break for the neck doctor. I don't know. Like, yeah, well, he'll get the test second. He'll get the test second week of January. That doctor's out for a couple of weeks here, so we'll circle back. We'll circle back. Yeah. So yeah, that's weird. Prince is just out. Hopefully, it's not too bad of a thing. But The Kuzma Giannis lineups are going well. Actually, the Giannis and bench lineups, as you look at this list, Giannis Portis net rating is plus 7.3. Giannis Cole Anthony is plus 22.9. So I'm sure a lot of the same minutes as the Kuzma. That group has been great. And that group was great against Houston, too. If you look, Giannis, I think, was like net rating of 0 or plus minus is 0 against the Rockets. And every bench player positive, every other starter negative. Even Amir Coffey, who instead of Mr. Caffeine was Mr. Cardio. He recorded a rebound and a foul in 13 and a half minutes. But even he was a plus 3 because that group of like Cole Anthony, Kuzma, Giannis, Portis, Coffey, or various versions of it, was just good. The starter minutes with Giannis off have been very bad. This is the side effect of the new rotations. That's the other thing. Doc, we talked a little bit about wanting to see a stagger of Turner and Giannis. Doc has done that now.
Listens to the pod.
He listens to the pod. He's done that the last 2 games. I think the bench with Giannis has been really good. I think the starters with Turner, pretty good against the Bulls, at least at moments, but less so overall. But I do think some of that, too, is just like that starting group with Giannis out with like Portis and Turner in with some starters for a little while has not been great at this point.
No, and even if you replace Kyle Kuzma in that lineup, so you do AJ, Rollins, Trent, Kuzma, Turner. I mean, it's kind of treading water, net rating of 5.
That's
28 minutes in only 2 games played, which is
probably
crazy.
Pretty recent, yeah.
So those are just kind of treading water, which is it's okay. But yeah, it's just like that starting lineup is built to maximize Giannis, and when you don't have Giannis in there, it kind of doesn't have anyone to maximize. So it makes sense that it doesn't really work out that well. This is really where you start to miss Kevin Porter Jr. and his dynamic shot creation in this lineup. So have to wait a couple of weeks for that.
The starting 5 is still a negative lineup on the year. Net rating of minus 7.4. Rollins, AJ, Trent, Giannis, Turner. That's really bad. The bench group I talked about, Cole, this is with AJ Green in. Cole Anthony, AJ Green, Kuzma, Portis, Giannis is plus 12.9. Rollins, Green, Kuzma, Turner, Giannis, which I think has a case to be the starting 5.
47.8.
It's only 14 minutes, but yeah, it's a net rating of nearly 50. So they are blowing teams out. The offensive rating is phenomenal too. In those 14 minutes, they are blowing teams out. Their assist turnover is phenomenal. And their effective field goal has been really good as well, but not even the best among some of these lineups. I think let's get right to it. We do starters arguments all the time. I think Kuzma should start for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm there.
I'm still not there.
I'm
still not there. Here's my thing.
Yeah.
It almost works like a death lineup, like the Warriors' death lineup. You use it in spurts to overwhelm teams. You don't use it all the time. That's the case, right?
But I think this is more sustainable than a death lineup. You're not asking like Giannis or Kuzma to play center. It's just a better starting lineup. I think the best case against it is Houston is like one of, if not the biggest team. So the Bucks have a small lineup. They went against a big team and they got overwhelmed. Also a game that AJ didn't shoot well. So if it's another team or if AJ just shoots well, which again, he had literally done in every other game this season except for that one, it's probably fine. But the fact that the starters have just been bad, like bad, losing a lot, big Giannis minutes, their number 1 lineup by 100 minutes, and the net rating is minus 7.4. And even now we've done the stagger the last couple games, I still don't think, like even against the Bulls, I don't think that lineup was great. I think Kuzma really helped close them out. I'm come all the way around. I'm not a believer in that lineup anymore. I think you were right in the regular season that it's just too small. And I thought, I think it'll be fine. It has not looked fine to me in the whole lately. In the last 2 games, Rollins, Green, Trent, Giannis, Turner is net of minus 6.5. So just about as bad as on the season.
Yeah, I think a lot of that does come down to, AJ and Gary Trent have just not been living up to what they could be this season.
Never both at once, I feel.
No, it's either one or the other. Gary's gotten going early in games, but never sustained it. Like he'll hit like 2 shots in the first quarter and then it's just done for the rest of the night.
That steal on
AJ's just been
KD,
struggling.
I stood up and went crazy, man. It was so nice. But yeah, those
So
went
did
away
I,
in the second
off the
half
couch,
of that game.
not in Fiserv. But no, defensively he's been locking in. Again, we're still seeing the same problems with AJ getting into foul trouble early. Again, Houston's a big team, so that kind of makes it a little more difficult. But we're starting to see a trend of this is just how it is. This is how it's going. If that happens against Dallas tonight, it's kind of like, what are you going to do? Like, you have to make a change at some point. You and I both thought after our last pod that Doc would not make a starting lineup change going into this back-to-back, and I don't think he's going to do it heading into the second night of a road back-to-back. But when they come home for that cup game,
first, normal Hornets. Game. It's 2 Hornets games. It's a non-cup Hornet. Oh no, is that the road trip too?
That's part of the road trip.
Okay, you're right. They're in Charlotte Wednesday, home for the cup. You're right. 2 Charlotte games back to back. Their injury report, by the way, I don't know if you've looked at this lately. Like just every year for them. Every year for Brandon Miller out, LaMelo Ball out. I don't know if they'll be back from Milwaukee or not. LaMelo, it's another ankle impingement. Which you hear the word impingement, you're like, that's not good. Last 2 games, forget net ratings because that numbers get blown. The Bucks, by the way, are shameless. They do per 36 for a lot of stats on like the in-arena feed. So it's like Thanasis, career averages of 10 and 6 per 36 minutes. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
Thanasis plays like 8 minutes per game or whatever. Like that's a great. Like
he hasn't played 8 minutes yet.
No, I know. I mean his career, right? Like his career averages, like doing per 36 for a play like that is irresponsible. Sims, same deal. Sims is like 8 and 10 per 36. I'm like, okay, that's funny.
Let's start doing per 100 possessions for Gary Harris.
This is also in the pregame. This is what they did. Yeah, we should. That's just like literally. I think by the end of the year, his season might be 100 possessions. At one point before the game, the graphic they did, they actually had Marcus and Lisa do like a pregame show just for in arena, which I thought was nice. But they showed the net ratings of the Bucks closing lineup against Chicago only from their fourth quarter minutes. So they're all like plus 50. And I'm with my buddy Cole, shout out to Cole, who's like, wow, that's great. Shout out Cole, man. I was like, wow, that's great. I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's like a 20 possession sample size blown out to 100 possessions. Like you can't do that. You should not do that. Anyway, it's just the raw numbers.
Leads into the conversation we have tacked on to the end of this podcast.
That's right. Oh yeah, we probably should have showed that earlier. Yeah, we'll tee it up later, even better. The starting 5, the Rollins, Giannis, all that, the starters in 29 minutes. The last 2 games are -5, so not terrible, but not very good. The starters with Kuzma in for Trent are +12 in 7 minutes. I can't believe it's only been 7 minutes. I guess probably 5 to end Chicago and like 2 or 3 to end Houston, but they've just been really good. And every other big minute lineup has been better too.
Yeah, but again, Chicago and Houston are both big teams. It's like a reverse small ball. It's just big ball.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's where the league is going, right? It's like that's what we learned is like you don't need to be little if you have big guys who can shoot and move too.
Yeah, I think of Kyle Kuzma playing like 30 minutes a game at the 3 for the Bucks, and I know all 30 won't be at the 3. I know that.
A lot of them were. I feel like he's playing almost all 3 lately too.
And it just kind of makes me like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like for Houston, for example, they were able to attack that zone so efficiently. Yeah. That's not what all teams are going to be doing. Not all teams are going to have a Steven Adams that's just a weak point that you can get past. And just hit like a little floater and that's fine, which is what Kyle Kuzma's good at, or has shown he can be good at this season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just need more. I need to see it more and more consistently to be able to say, you know what, this is a go-to.
Doc did say...
I think Doc does too.
Well, Doc said he told Kuzma there were games you would start for us. So I kind of thought he was going to start against Houston. Because if not them, who else? I guess we'll see. I don't know if they make a change.
Giannis isn't playing 82, Kuz. That's all.
Well, yeah, it could mean that too. That's a good point. I guess, yeah, Kuzma did start a game, right? But it was for Giannis earlier in the year against Golden State. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this week is going to be if it's not already being made this week, is probably going to be the big test of like, can that group rebound and guard the perimeter even against bad teams? But here's my thing, to your point about not every team is like Houston. A lot of the good teams are. A lot of the good teams have good big players who are going to punish that lineup. And I mean, it's great if you can beat Chicago, who no one's really buying yet. And like, hopefully you can beat the Hornets and Mavericks, who have been pretty terrible yet again. But like, fine. Like, I don't need to see that lineup beat those teams. I need to see that lineup beat Houston. I need to see that lineup beat, whoever else, the Cavs, the Knicks,
Cleveland. Yeah.
Yeah. And so far they haven't. So we'll see. I mean, they beat the Knicks.
Philly.
Yeah, Philly. Not a great week for them, but yeah, Philly will be a good test. Philly's pretty small though, so Philly I wouldn't think would be as needed. But then you can have the advantage in size. That would be nice. You could be the rebounding team. You could be the team who it's like, wow, we have Jared McCain at the 3, and what is he supposed to do to Kyle Kuzma? That's where the Bucks are right now. You're watching this game against Houston. It's just like, Gary Trent again, he had the really nice steal on KD, but then late in the game, it's like KD's in his office in the mid-range. What is Gary Trent supposed to do? Foul and one that kind of sealed the game.
What was the arena like when just Clint Capella and Steven Adams were eating offensive rebounds for breakfast?
It was not great. I had no idea they played Capella. I was like, who is that? Why is there a fourth center for the Rockets checking into this game? And he's just sitting there rebounding and doing nothing else. That was crazy.
Yeah, he had 0 defensive rebounds.
Yeah, 4 offensive rebounds, 1 steal, 1 turnover, 2 of 4 from the floor. The player who killed us the most, I mean, early and late it was Şengün, and late it was KD as well. But the Reed Shepherd burst, we were like despondent. Every time they it's like, come on, you gotta guard. And they'd put Rollins in, and Rollins would like take him away, but then he would like get lost or get going in transition. It's like, you cannot. He's the only guy who can shoot threes.
Yeah, they would just move him away from the top of the zone, and he was just open. And it's like,
yeah,
okay,
I don't like the Bucks zone.
If you're gonna match up zone, which did work a lot in the second and third quarter, if you're going to match up zone, that's when you need to do that against a guy like Reed Shepherd. If you're just going to play a straight out 2-3, you can't do that against Reed Shepherd.
No, and I thought the Bucks countered the Rockets zone really well throughout that game, but yeah, Reed Shepherd was a big problem.
Yep, absolutely. Well, are we done with Kuzmania, or do we have any more thoughts on Kuzmania? Kuzmania, I will say, Kuzmania is awesome.
Yeah,
just it's good. It's great. It's really subverted my expectations, and I'm proud to admit that I was wrong about what Kyle Kuzma can do.
I was too. I mean, I wasn't as high on him coming in. I wanted to believe, but I think I've just come over pretty quickly. He's playing more minutes than starters in games lately. I will say these last 2, he shot 50% from 3 in each of those games. Houston especially, that was most of his points, so that's probably not sustainable. He's dragged his percentage up to 30.8. It was like 15 like a week ago. So that will, I'm sure, he's not going to shoot 50% the rest of the way, but he has done other things offensively. He's actually been, you want to hear a crazy stat? Kyle Kuzma is the Bucks' best free throw shooter. What an indictment.
Serious?
Yeah, 83.3%. I mean, technically Amir Coffey and KPJ on a very small sample are better, and Sears is at the same, but every real regular, he's been better. That's also, they lost that game because they still can't shoot free throws.
Yep, absolutely. You left 16 points at the line.
And for once, it's not all Giannis, although he ended up getting cold late. He was good early. He was 9 of 14.
Turner was 10 points on the line.
Yeah, I was going to say. I didn't think it was that much. Turner missed 2. Turner's 57% from free throw. Can we figure that one out, Miles, please? And then Portis missed 2, and Rollins missed 1, and then Giannis missed 5. But it's like, they're literally free.
Giannis missed 3 late, and when they ended up being down 3.
Really brutal, bad ones, yeah.
What was it?
Him trying to steal from Şengün. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. Was I talking to you about this, where it's like Giannis tends to make his free throws when it matters? Did you say that? Or was I having a conversation?
I've definitely said that before. I don't know if we talked about it lately. But we've definitely said that. Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
No.
So
he was way too in his head. He hates Şengün. He was like, Giannis was so pissed. He wanted to do everything himself. He was like playing way out of the system, which the system is kind of just Giannis Cook, but even so, he was outside of it on both ends. the turnover pass he threw on the baseline was ugly. The free throws, the defense, like it was a collapse from Giannis.
It was almost a downstock Giannis game, even though he had 37, 8, and 3.
He was just so good in the first 3 quarters, but yeah, he lost composure to an extent. I mean, not crazily, but like you're down 3. There's more than a shot clock left. Like you don't have to go insane at this guy and basically give him a free. Was it an and one Şengün ended up getting? Like,
it was,
and that ended the game immediately. Like just play defense. Like you can go for a steal, but he was like. He looked crazy out there, that last defensive possession.
Last 2, he tried to do it twice. I mean, the second one didn't really matter.
The first one, he knocked the ball out of KD and just no one was looking, unfortunately. So, like, he did kind of get it. It's like, okay, if you knock the ball out, I guess it's worth it. But Şengün, he just never looked close. Like, Şengün was one step ahead. It makes me sick to say.
Yeah, and both of those, honestly, I think the refs swallowed their whistles. I think they could have easily called him for multiple fouls.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, Giannis?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think the officiating was as bad in that game, but the lane violation was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, that was
I need someone to track. I think the Bucks have been called for like 4 or 5 lane violations, which, like, since when is that a thing? I mean, I get the one where Giannis was going to dunk his own miss. That, you have to call that. But, like, on other players, like, really getting a foot over the line to box out, like, happens literally every possession of every game. Every free throw, I should say.
You could call a lane violation on every free throw ever taken in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, or it's like, do we want to start doing inbounds violations? Because that's also every time. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know,
some inbounds violations are more egregious than others, and it's really funny when it's a bad.
Yeah, I know.
Violation. Those are some of the funniest.
I feel like it's been a long time since we got, like, remember that, like, what was that, probably like 10 years ago now, that turnover? Was that like Hassan Whiteside or something where I think it was like a guard inbounded in the ball, and then he like stepped out of bounds to inbound it back to him instead of just waiting for the guy to come get the ball, and that's obviously a turnover. There
was the one a few years ago where was it on the Rockets where PJ Tucker would just not touch the ball?
Yeah.
And just like he was just like boxing other people out. The guy inbounding is like, "No, I can't touch it. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Grab the ball."
That was a good one. Yeah, I remember that too. Anyway, we can be done with Kuzmania now. I think we talked a lot about it, and we'll be interested to see both who starts tonight, who plays. I mean, it's a back-to-back. We'll see if anyone gets the night off in Dallas, and what the closing lineups are, which also means a lot. But also curious to see what everyone's Prize Picks plays are. Our number one sponsor, where you can use code Eurostat to get $50 when you play $5, win or lose. I had a good slate, a good flex play. So close to a 4 out of 4, but 3 out of 4 is still a win. That's why I love flex plays on Prize Picks, where you don't even need to be fully right. You still can get paid to be right. You don't even have to be 100% right, which is good because not many people bat 1,000. I had Amen Thompson more than 23.5 points and rebounds. He had 22, and I think he missed like a floater pretty late in the game. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you didn't score on the Bucks, but could have used that one, Amen. Oh well, though, because we also had Cole Anthony more than 4 assists. He had 6, which was funny because watching the game live, had no idea until he checked in the 4th, and I was going to check his stats up on the board. I was like, I feel like all he's done is like take shots. I don't know if he has any, and he had 6 assists to start the 4th quarter. Miles Turner more than 17.5 points and rebounds. He had 19, so some timely buckets worked out there. And then Ryan Rollins more than 12.5 points. He also had 19, just points alone, not points and rebounds. Rollins has been a bucket, and I think is really returning to form after a couple of slower games. These last 2, he's had quite a nice impact offensively for the Bucks, so that was a flex play win for me. You know what's funny is I even said when I was making this play, Rohan, I often do goblins for my other team pick because I'm not as familiar with them. If I had done the goblin on a man, I could have had 4 out of 4 here. Something to keep in mind, you can't take all of one team. So if you don't have your 2 favorite teams aren't playing on the same day, you can always go safer with a goblin on the other team's player that you take their projection on. So that was my flex play dub on Prize Picks. You got one?
Yeah, you know what I've been really liking on Prize Picks?
What's that?
It's these first 3 minutes projections.
They're so risky. Okay, what did you do?
See, the good thing about them is they're usually, a lot of them are demon time ones. So it's like, if you're right, it's a better payout. So what I did, I took your advice. I did a goblin on the opposing team.
Nice.
So I did goblin rebounds in the first 3 minutes by Alperen Şengün. The projection was a half, so I took more than on that. Yeah, so 1. Gary Trent Jr. points in the first 3 minutes, projection at 0.5. They've been trying to get him the ball earlier.
He made their first bucket. Yeah.
So there we go.
Wow.
Miles Turner points in the first 3 minutes, projection at 0.5. They've been trying to get him involved, and he scored. What I didn't get was Kevin Durant assists in the first 3 minutes. Projection at 0.5. Yeah. I needed 1.
Yeah.
And I thought my reasoning is I thought the Bucks were going to go harder on KD, force the ball out of his hands, but he just ended up being a bucket.
Salute.
In the first 3 minutes. However, was a flex play.
Nice.
So it's still a W.
Dubs in the chat. There we go. That's why we love Prize Picks, because you can be mostly right and still be a winner. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Eurostep to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup, win or lose. That's code Eurostep to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Where else can you get a deal? $55 for $5. That's a damn good deal. Damn good deal. Okay. What else do we have to talk about? I mean, we did our lineups thing. We did Kuzma. Giannis continues to accumulate ridiculous numbers. 41, 15, and 9 against the Bulls. One of his best games of the year. Again,
I think
bad
you're missing
late.
Something big here, Ty.
What am I missing?
The Bucks are 1-0 in the NBA Cup.
Oh, you're right. I do love that. And they are now 9-0 all-time in seeding games.
Yep. In the 3 years of the NBA Cup / in-season tournament, the Bucks have lost a grand total of 1 game.
Yeah, it had to be the Pacers, though. Makes me sick.
So in the NBA Cup standings in Group C, the Bucks are technically number 2 because both them and the Miami Heat are 1-0. But in those 1 games, Miami has a point differential of 18, and the Bucks have a point differential of 16. So 2 points are separating them.
Did they play the Hornets? I don't remember. I'm saying, did they play the Hornets? Yeah.
I believe so.
Are the Hornets minus 18?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I think, yeah. Okay. You gotta drub the Hornets. That's the takeaway.
Absolutely. So, obviously the Bucks and Heat have yet to play in group play, so that's going to be a big one. The Bulls are 1-1 now. The Knicks are still 0-1, and the Hornets are 0-1. So the Bucks are really, they're well positioned. The Knicks have already lost. They've beaten the team that has beaten the Knicks already.
Yep.
You should be able to beat the Knicks, or beat the Heat and beat the Hornets, and be able to wrap this group up pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a big one. Although I think the first tiebreaker is still head to head. If the teams have the same record, if there's only 2, I could be wrong. But if that is,
you're right.
If that is, then you'd also need the Knicks to lose another one for that game to not matter. So that'll be big to watch. Knicks Heat. If the Heat win that one, then you're right. The Bucks would just need to beat the Heat and the Hornets, and they'd probably move on.
Because even if they don't win the group, as long as they're the top non-1 seed in the group, they will advance to Las Vegas.
They've not had a lot of true blowouts, but it would be great to have one against the Hornets to buff that point differential.
They've been blown out.
They've been blown out. Only once. Just hopefully, the Raptors,
Yeah, hopefully that stays the same.
Still haven't lost back-to-back games, so big one in Dallas here, because Giannis said good teams don't lose 2 games in a row, and they keep putting themselves in position. It'd be nice.
I was like, maybe good teams don't go 500 over stretches.
Maybe good teams win 2 in a row more often. But that's a great call out. I'm excited for the Cup. I love the Cup game. We have some time off now because it's Friday, and then it's 2 in rapid succession to end the Cup slate. Those Heat and Knicks Cup games. That's going to be a big week of Bucks basketball, but we're not there yet. Kind of a big Bob bounce back. I think his best game of the year on, counting 2-way play against Houston. And he had a pretty good game against Chicago as well. Although he's just not scoring a lot overall. Has the Bucks bench advanced past the need for Bobby Portis is a question I've been grappling with.
Here's the thing. I was watching Houston just eat rebounds for breakfast, and I was like, what lineup do they have in? Do they have multiple? And it's just Bob. And I'm like, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It really isn't. Again, Houston is kind of an anomaly in the way they play and the way they're built. I'm not going to base my entirety of how the Bucks, my feelings about the Bucks based on 1 game against an anomaly of a team, and I'm not talking about Jason Tatum, the anomaly. Remember that?
I think they're still trying to do that. It's terrible.
It's just whatever.
Like he's literally just modern Paul Pierce. He's like the least anomalous player possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
He's a good forward. Yeah, he's Paul George, Kawhi. Like we've seen a lot of small forwards who handle the ball and have like a mid amount of assists and a lot of points and rebounds.
Yeah,
it's like one of the.
We're not trying to say he's not good. He's
really good. But it's just like it might be the most. It might be the most like oh yeah, that's what a good basketball player looks like. That might be the most possible. Yeah.
It's the archetype of what everyone builds in 2K.
In the 2000s, like that is like those have been the players that win everything.
Yeah. The anomaly. Get out of here.
It's a ridiculous nickname.
Get out of here. Just start calling him like Deuce Senior or something. I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
I just think his name is Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. But yeah, Bobby Portis. At one point I was tweeting like Bob literally do anything positive at the basket defensively.
And he didn't.
Nothing good is happening.
No.
Like he's scoring like the offense is better. I will give him that. The offense is better, and that's a great sign because it's like if the offense isn't going, then there's literally no point to you, Bobby Portis. But the offense is starting to pick up, which is good. There's a little I see some purpose for Big Bob.
Yeah.
But everything else just kind of sucks, man.
Yeah.
It just kind of sucks.
I feel like Cole Anthony does so much for their bench, and now especially with Giannis playing in some of those minutes too. They don't need to dump it down to Big Bob 8 times a game anymore. Cole Anthony can go get 2 feet in the paint and either take a shot or spray a pass, and it's better offense for the team. Like you're getting more threes, you're getting more paint touches. You're seeing it in the minutes and the shots. Big Bob took 4 shots and he had 4 free throws, so we'll say 6 shooting possessions against Houston. Against the Bulls, he had 5 shots, no free throws. They're just not getting enough. And it's not because he's not playing well offensively, but they're just not getting a lot of like aggregate value out of him on offense. And again, we've been over this, but like we just know the defense is not going to help you win games. This is the fewest shots per 36 minutes Big Bob has taken since 2016-17 when he was a Bull in his second year. He's below 15 shots per 36. Last year it was 17. The year before that, 16.5, 15.9, 15.5, 15.7. So he's like half a shot to 2+ shots less than he's taken as a Buck in the past.
And you can start to see how the team is really making that happen. And I'm not saying like maybe it's not intentional or anything, but the team around him is just so built up to be able to facilitate an offense without needing his style of offense. And to his credit, like...
Sorry, go ahead.
And to his credit, like, he's been starting to do these last couple games more of the stuff we saw
post-suspension.
Screening, rolling, diving to the cup, spacing out from 3. Like, that's good. Do that, and you have a point on this team, Bob.
Yeah.
When you're starting to do that, and you're not even trying, like Clint Capella is eating you for breakfast.
Yeah,
that should be grounds for a team suspension. Like that is conduct detrimental to the team if I've ever seen it.
I was surprised we didn't see Sims at all in that game.
Me too. I was waiting for Sims to get off the bench, but he just didn't.
Big Bob's rebounds per 36 and his 2-point percentage and 3-point are all down as well. I mean, it's early. I think he should have been shooting better, but just not having the same impact on the Bucks. I feel like we've even had less like Bobby. Like the moments are down.
Yeah. Have we even gotten that this year?
Not really. He had like...
I don't think we have.
They kind of tried to get it going at the Houston game because he had a couple of nice plays, but it's never... Like, it used to be, like, consecutively. When he stripped Katie and took it full court and somehow didn't end up losing the ball, which I really thought he was going to, and he got the layup, that was probably the closest, but I feel like it used to be, like, 2 or 3 Bobby, like, buckets in a row and send, like, a nice rebound or a block or whatever, and we just haven't seen it happen that much consecutively. I mean, yeah, it's worrisome. I think the other part of Kuzmania is... Kuz has like leapfrog Bob in terms of like the standings of like who do you not want to get traded more.
Yeah. Hey, is he the second most important Buck? No, he's definitely not.
Kuz.
Yeah. Going back to our...
That's true. I did have him too low on that now. Yeah, we've been up and down on Kuz like
I had him
alternatively.
too high, so it's okay.
Well, maybe he didn't.
I mean, if there's a second All-Star, I think this is a good way to frame how the Bucks are playing. Is if the Bucks get a second All-Star, which it doesn't look like they're going to get early on in the season. Which, by the way, we are an eighth of the way done, almost an eighth of the way done, basically, with the regular season, which is insane.
I know.
It just started like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. It would definitely be Rollins, right?
I think it would still be Rollins, but Kuzma's creeping up there.
On the whole, so far, obviously Giannis has been great. Rollins is about 17, 5.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds. Kuzma is 12.5 points, 4.2 rebounds, 1.2 assists. Is averaging 1.7 combined steals and blocks, but Rollins is at 2.1. Turner's averaging 1.3 steals and 2.1 blocks, but the offense has not been good enough, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. And to be clear, it is still Ryan Rollins.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Kuzma's gaining ground for sure.
Yeah. Who, by the way, Ryan Rollins, after just being swallowed up by some teams, has really bounced back in a good way.
Houston was a big test for him, and I thought he aced it. I thought he was very effective in that game, and they're a big, tough defensive team. And he hit threes and he scored at the rim too.
Yeah, and what I thought was most impactful about that is that he was confident in his own shots. Like, yeah. I've seen Gary, I've seen AJ, I've seen TP. They're swingmen on the perimeter, right? Like, they're just going to be like, swing, who's the most open, and then we'll take it. Ryan Rollins is like, no, this is my shot. I'm taking that.
Yeah.
I'm taking this three. Like, I'm not swinging that to anyone else. I'm confident enough in my own shot. It might be a little more contested than someone else, but I'm going to take it in this sort of weak part of the zone. I'm doing it. I'm Ryan Rollins. I do this.
Yeah.
And he was making his shots, and I'm like, oh, that's a confident Ryan Rollins. I love to see it. I truly do.
Yeah, I think he has been really good lately after that cold spell, which we needed to see because we gassed him up and then it wasn't great, but it was a good bounce back for Rollins.
Absolutely. I just continue to be enamored with his finishing, man.
It's really, I know.
It's crazy. Like, what was Pat Connaughton teaching this man? Oh, by the way, I want to before I forget. Do we get a Pat tribute video?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for sure.
Yeah.
You're not sure? You don't think so? You're questioning?
No, I think so. I just thought it would be more of a question.
100%. Yeah. It might be like half on court, half business.
They're just gonna show all of these 3-leaf developments. Look at all this housing.
Him signing contracts, yeah. We'll see.
Look at all these meetings with Peter Fagan.
Right. I was looking it up. The Bucks.
It's just gonna be him getting hit in the face. They should play the tribute video. Yeah, should be that supercut of him getting hit in the face.
It's gotta have him getting hit in the face for sure.
If the tribute video doesn't have that video of him, I believe it was in the finals where he's just like all bloodied.
Yeah.
After like getting like an elbow to the face going for a rebound, he's just looking at the refs going nothing as he's just actively bleeding from his eye. Like, if that's not in there, like, man, though. The Bucks tribute video thus far, just the Chris one, really let me down.
I know, they need to bounce back with a 30-minute Pat vid.
Is it worse if they do an amazing one for Pat and then that's the Chris one?
Yeah.
Or do you have to
now you set the standard. You set the standard, yeah. Same length, same everything for Pat, and
it's
then
going to be set to that weird music that they used during like the 2020 season.
I wish. Sounded like trash cans. I wish they would bring that back. Yeah, Pat and Brooke need similar. Everything needs to be the same, if not shorter, actually.
Yeah, it should go in terms of length. It should go Chris, Brooke, Pat.
Yeah, but again, Pat's got the business side, so that might extend his a little bit. Something to think about.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Ryan Rollins. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rollins has been good. Yeah, I think that the two guards have just been inconsistent.
It's almost like only one of them should be in the lineup.
I agree. I remember I made this point. You said, no, I don't think so. I do think, though, it is kind of like you can only draw up so many shots for two guards. And it's like, I think both of them, like, they should be one of them out there all the time and they can play together a little bit, but like, you can't just do like pin down to get them each enough shots. I mean, I guess you could, but they're not right now because the Giannis guy needs shots too. Rollins is going to shoot. Turner's going to get some. It's been. I think even if he doesn't start, Green will probably close because he's the best pick and pop screener for Giannis. I think he's better defensively than Gary, although Gary is like the variance is crazy. Gary's either stripping Kevin Durant or just like getting destroyed.
Yeah. What we saw, by the way, is a great point that you made on the last pod about how Gary's just always handsy defensively. Always. And they never call it.
No. He had only 2 fouls against Houston, and he was just draped on guys the entire game.
Yeah.
Crazy Gary stat, he was minus 21 in that game, despite being 3 of 5 from deep, having an assist, 2 steals, no turnovers. They just got clobbered in those minutes. Probably because, they're just giving it to KD and Jabari, and they're just shooting right over him because he's just not tall.
Yeah. That's the problem. I do think they need to make a starting lineup change. I wouldn't be mad at TP. I wouldn't be mad at Kuz.
That test is like, it's not easy to schedule stuff.
No, it's not.
They must not have an app, so they're playing phone tag with the receptionist at the doctor. Like, haven't got him. He's in. He's out. AT&T's working on our line. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I wouldn't put it past the Bucks and Doc Rivers for Doc to make an announcement that say, "Hey, Taurean Prince is entering the starting lineup." However, we don't know when he's going to be able to play basketball again.
We're down another starter.
To be clear, he hasn't started yet.
He's a posthumous starter. He's a posthumous starter. He's not dead, but hopefully. But we decided he was going to start after he was ruled out for however long.
Yes. I decided to make a change. By the way, Gary, you're still in the starting lineup, or AJ. You're still in it, but just so you know, if TP was healthy, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah, just so you know. Think about that more often. How much longer are we without KPJ, by the way? Which just feels more important almost every single game. It was 4 weeks as of October 31st, so it's been about a week and a half. So yeah, we got another 2.5 weeks at least.
So yeah, that just seems so important.
Yeah, it's just like there's no margin for error right now of Cole and Rollins, Cole Anthony and Ryan Rollins. Like, if they're both not on, there's just clearly not enough guard play and creation in the minutes when one of them is either not playing or just not playing well. And thankfully, they've both been a lot more available. I feel like they've done a good job avoiding foul trouble in the last couple of games. But any sort of disruption for those guys, and the creation's just done.
Yeah, it's showing the real lack of creation that the Bucks have. That thing we've been worried about with this Bucks team. Like, they've been kind of treading water, but if there's like a cold stretch for either of them, or Cole Anthony starts to get into more foul trouble, you're really facing a void.
Yeah.
So
the next best outside of Giannis is Kuzma.
Yeah, and I still don't love that.
No, I don't love that either. 4th is not terrible, but ideally then he's 5th, you have KPJ back, and then you really have options.
Yeah. I think it'll look a lot better with KPJ.
Yeah, he's also just big. Like, bigger compared to like Cole, so you can limit Cole a little bit more. I think right now they're kind of forced to go with him. I think in the ideal world, you kind of test the waters with him. Like, he would still play a lot in a game like Houston where he just played really well. But some games, like, they're taking advantage of him defensively, like his floater isn't falling, and I think you'd just like to not go with him as much. Before we do our Eastern Conference Player of the Week, what are your Turner thoughts?
I liked what I saw in Houston when he was doing a little more off the bounce. Again, it was against statues, so it makes it a little easier. But it's like you just have to beat Steven Adams, whose momentum is going away or towards you, so you can just get towards the basket.
Right.
By the way, I'm not trying to hate. Like, Steven Adams had an amazing game. Like, they killed the Bucks.
He does what he does, man. Just goes out there and rebounds. Really well. Dude, Cole Anthony, by the way, was grabbing the most rebounds in that lineup, like just soaring up and getting them, and I was like, no one else on the Bucks has any excuse for not getting a damn rebound. If Cole Anthony, no disrespect to him, I'm sure shorter than me, is able to fly up and get these rebounds. Taurean Prince, when you're healthy, what are we doing? Rollins, Trent, like, just go get it. You can just go get it. You have the option to just go get the basketball. The 5'10 guy is doing it. Probably not 5'10, but not super tall.
No excuses whatsoever. You're right. But yeah, Turner, I need him to take more shots. I just need him to take more shots. Like 3 threes against the Rockets is not great. I mean, he had his best game of the season was against the Bulls. I shouldn't start with the negatives first. Like that offensive explosion against Chicago is really what put them over the top. And it's like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
like that was great. Like more of that, please. Like like in that game, he's taking 8 threes. Like just keep taking shots, man.
I feel like he just almost hasn't even trusted his 3-ball lately. I think he just needs to. They want him to keep shooting. Own head. Yeah.
The
dribble stuff looked decent,
man,
but
good.
Yeah, it needs to be more threes. I will say, he's doing like those 2 games. If you just look at like the measurable stats, it's like DPOY stuff. He had 3 steals and 3 blocks against Houston, following a 4-steal, 1-block game against Chicago. So a lot of splash plays defensively. I do think his defense is probably even going under the radar. But yeah, I agree with you. He could shoot more threes. I don't mind the off the dribble stuff. I don't love it, but if the lane is there, go for it. But like the one he had against the Pacers when he was clearly in his own head and like he's trying to like really break down guys off the dribble at the top of the key, like that's not your game, man.
No, it's really not. He's learning he sees Giannis doing it. He's like,
he's like, oh, we're allowed to do this here. Cool. Yeah. Remember Bob's bringing up the court era like 3 years ago?
Oh man. Yeah.
I do wonder if the big guys just see Giannis to like, why not me?
Like why can't I do it?
Yeah. And we figure out why.
Why can't I be run and dunk, man?
We usually figure out why before too long.
Yeah, it usually takes about 1 possession to be able to do it.
Oh, I lied. AJ actually had back-to-back bad shooting games. You don't see that very often.
No, you really don't. 2 of 8 against the Bulls from deep and 1 of 5 against the Rockets.
Is he feeling the Kuzmania pressure?
He might be.
Not good.
Kuzmania is affecting the own team.
Yeah, it's too powerful.
He is too powerful. I don't know if too powerful. He's been really good. I shouldn't be mean.
Yeah.
He's been one of the most consistent bright spots for the Bucks this season.
I just want more sample of him and Giannis. I think his 3 minutes have been a lot better. And I remember when I was trying to cope and I wasn't even fully believing in him, but before the year when we talked about like who's going to start, who should start, all our conversations, it was like obviously him at the 3 was really bad by the end of last year. It started off okay in the regular season. I think it dipped in the regular season and in the playoffs it was horrible. But like Dame, Prince, Kuzma, Giannis, Lopez is just a different stratosphere of lineup when you talk about being ready to play modern basketball than a Rollins, Green, or Trent, Kuzma, Giannis, Turner. Like defensively, like their athleticism and what they can do, and offensively too, it's a lot different.
So much difference. It's yeah, you're right. It's stratospheric differences. So maybe I just need to see him more.
Yeah, I mean, give it a chance to fail. You know.
Yeah, and which Doc has started to do.
Yeah, I mean, the stagger change has been big. I think they probably could have gotten blown out in like this Houston game if they didn't always have one of Giannis or Turner with how big the Rockets are. So I think that's been good. That's been necessary. But now the starting lineup still needs some tinkering, I think. So we'll see how they address it. Who is your Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Rohan? I don't think it's our guy yet again.
I don't think it's Giannis again. This is from the dates of, the 3rd through the 9th of November.
Yes.
So Giannis, though he is leading the Eastern Conference in points per game during that stretch,
yep.
2-2, that's just not going to cut it. Record really matters. I think it's probably going to go to Donovan Mitchell, 3-0 for the Cavaliers in that stretch, playing all 3 games. Second leading scorer in the East, 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6.3 assists on 50, 45, 100 splits is ridiculous.
I was hoping you would say that because I've actually got your guy, Cade Cunningham.
Okay, there we go.
4-0 in that week, averaging 31 points, 9.8 assists, 3.3 rebounds per game in that stretch for the Pistons, who won all of their game. I will say Cade's plus minus was plus 11.5. Mitchell was plus 17.7.
Great comeback against the Sixers last night.
Yeah.
That was a fun game to watch.
I saw someone argue that Cade's the 3rd best guard basically in the league behind Shea and Luka, and I was like, he's kind of playing like it thus far. But I think the extra win
is he the best guard in the East?
Yeah. I think for sure. I wouldn't take anyone else.
If you start overall, he's best in the East.
It would be what? Him, Mitchell, Maxey is really the whole Brunson.
Trey.
When
he plays.
We don't have to. I think it's probably Cade. 33 and almost 10 assists is crazy.
Yeah. I didn't want to seem too homerish, which is why I didn't pick Cade. And I'm really glad you did pick Cade.
I'm in for the extra win, and I just think that the Cade wasn't as efficient shooting the ball, but to average close to Mitchell's points, but also adding nearly 10 assists. Mitchell had 6, which is damn good as well. I could see it going either way. I think it's really debatable this time. I think it's close. Shout out to Khan Knipple. We're split for the first time. Shout out to Khan Knipple, who's 8th in the East in scoring this week, and also averaged 10 rebounds per game somehow. We're going to see Khan a lot this week.
That's crazy. I can't wait for him to have 50 against the Bucks.
I can wait for that. Maxey was 32 and 7 assists, but they were 1 and 3. A little bit of a slide. I just think Nurse is running him into the dust. MPJ was 6th in scoring. Jaylen Brown was 3rd in scoring. But I don't think either of them are really on the same level as Mitchell and Cunningham.
No, those two are the clear top.
Norm Powell's probably going to get a vote. They were 3 and 1. He was 23, 2 and 2. Really shouldn't, I think. And then Jalen Duren, 21 points, 14 boards, looking like he could make an all-star push this year.
I kind of gave up on Jalen Duren, which is crazy, considering we talked about this.
Yeah, he's 21. Exactly. I know. I was like, Jalen Duren's over the hill. He's 21 now. Or this is his 21
It's crazy.
season.
We shouldn't give up on players this early. But no. I think we both were like, is Jalen Duren really the answer at center?
I know.
For the Pistons? Yeah, I think he might be.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's their second best player pretty clearly at this point.
Pistons are good, man.
Shout out to Alex Sarr.
I can't wait for the Bucks.
Sorry, Sarr was 21, 6, and 4.5 assists, kind of making that leap as well a little bit. Good young talent in the East. We talked about it last time, but there's a lot of young players on these lists.
Yeah, absolutely. Giannis is the elder statesman here.
Yeah. Yeah, Giannis is the oldest player until you get to Embiid and Pascal and Norm. But yeah, it's mostly Giannis and younger guys.
Yeah. Giannis, by the way, leading the league in scoring.
Yep.
Luka doesn't count
MVP.
because he's only played 6 games.
Yeah.
But Giannis at 33.8 points he might, if there was a year for him to get a scoring title, it's this year.
Yeah. Wait, does he get? Oh yeah, 33. He's outscoring his minutes right now. He's only playing 32.4 minutes per game, 33.8 points on 63% from the field, 50% from 3, 63.5 from field goal, plus 12.3 boards, 6.2 assists, less than 3 turnovers, and 2 combined steals and blocks.
Yeah. That seems like a scoring champ incoming.
You know what I still can't wrap my head around? I keep reading that the starting lineup is not good. Giannis on the whole, though, is plus 6.2 this year per game. I don't get it. Obviously he doesn't play all his minutes with the starters. The bench lineups and stuff have been good. How does that work? And Gary is somehow minus 3.8. AJ is plus 3.2. How? How is all of this possible?
I don't know, man. It's happening, though.
It's happening. All right, any other Bucks stuff, or should we look ahead to this week?
No, let's look ahead to what the Bucks have for their schedule this week. So, like we've been talking about, they play the Dallas Mavericks tonight. That is Monday the 10th at 7:30 p.m.
Oh.
And that's probably why that Houston game was like a matinee.
Is it? It's not national, is it?
No.
7:30 is a weird time.
It is a weird time for a local game.
Yeah.
Like a local broadcast game.
Yeah.
And then they continue their road trip.
Sorry, real quick. Sorry. No Bucks injury report yet as of recording. Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, questionable. Derek Lively, doubtful. Dante Exum, Kyrie Irving out for the Mavs. So they could have more guys, but they've been pretty depleted and they've been terrible offensively this year.
Yeah. Excited to see Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
That should be fun. I can't wait to see Giannis dunk on him. He loves taking these matchups with the young guys. He loves it. He loves being their welcome to the league moment.
The only thing more personal is if he also played with that young guy. Poor Mamu, every time he sees him, it's just like, I'm going to take Mamu's head off. It's like,
Mamu had an amazing game against him last time.
Yeah, Mamu answered the call, man. It was impressive.
But yeah, Dallas tonight. Then Hornets on Wednesday in Charlotte. Just a normal 6 p.m. game. And then the Hornets come to Milwaukee for an NBA Cup game, which is going to be important. You need to blow the Hornets out in that game.
Yep.
Then that is the first night of a home back-to-back. The Lakers come to town on the 15th, 7 p.m. That's going to be a big game.
Yeah. What do you think? You think LeBron plays? No, because he hasn't played all year.
No.
Right? Is he still like a week and a half away?
I think so, something like that. It's probably December until he plays.
Wow. Father time, man.
Is this it?
Yeah. I mean, he might play another year, but I think usually when you start to see this age, these guys have injuries like this, like you don't come back and play 80 games the next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it starts to be one thing after another. That's really, I think a lot of players could go until like damn near 40, not as good as LeBron, but like he's been so uninjured. And I think once you pick up these injuries, I feel like they just like snowball at that age.
Yeah. It is unfortunate.
Yeah, Lakers are 7-3 still though. Even with Luka missing time, LeBron hasn't played. Reeves has been. He had another buzzer beater the last week. They're going to be a great test for the Bucks' ability to defend star kind of perimeter players. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then you get to wrap up the next week, you get the Cavaliers again. That'll be a good test on the road in Cleveland on the 17th.
So Monday, or no, is that Sunday?
It's Monday. It's Monday.
Okay.
So that is the best team you play in this stretch. I would say these next 3 games, if the Bucks don't go 3-0, I will be very disappointed.
Oh, throwing down the gauntlet. Okay.
Yeah. You have the Mavericks and then the Hornets
Yeah, I mean you
have to win those games.
The Mavs are 3-7. I think the Hornets also are 3-6. So yeah, teams that have not, especially with the Hornets injury report. I mentioned it earlier, but I mean let me just for the sake of making the point here, let me pull this up. LaMelo Ball out, ankle impingement. Miles Bridges questionable, back spasms. Josh Green out, shoulder surgery. Brandon Miller out, shoulder subluxation. A two-way guy out. Tidjane Salon is on G League assignment. Not a great lottery pick there. And then Grant Williams is still out as well. But their 3 best players are all on the report. Bridges may play. This is for Monday's games, but I don't know if an ankle impingement or a shoulder subluxation will be healed by Wednesday or Friday either. So yeah, I mean, if they don't have LaMelo or Brandon Miller, you just need to,
you need to win all 3 of these games. If there was any grace,
the Mavericks game.
It's the Mavericks game. It's the second night of a back-to-back on the road. That's just tough.
That's why it hurts to lose close, pretty tight games the first night of the back-to-back twice in a row. Oh no, the Pacers, they didn't lose, but they made it so close. Like, you just need to close out the first nights better because the second nights are just harder. So yeah, we'll see. But Dallas is not good. So they not a full excuse even, I'd say.
No, you should win all 3. But if there was one game to lose, it is tonight.
Yeah.
But again, don't lose 2 in a row. That's what the Bucks.
Good teams don't lose 2 in a row, and I guess they don't also win 3 in a row very often. So I guess they're not a great team yet. So hopefully they can make that evolution this week.
They started out 3-0, didn't they?
Maybe they did. You're right.
No, they started off 2-0. They lost to the Cavs.
Yeah. So
you're right. They haven't won 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's been 1 or 2 wins, 1 loss, every single time.
Yeah, win some games, Bucks.
Yeah,
this is. I feel like Michael Irvin right now.
Yeah,
what are you prepared to do about it? Don't let anyone come into your house.
Eat your food. They're 6-4, which makes them 6th in the East. Do what you need to
do today.
But there are every team between the Knicks in 3rd and the Sixers in 7 has 6 wins right now. So if you win 3 in a row, you're almost for sure going to be top 4 again, and that's just a good place to be. So
you have to. This is a good early test for the Bucks. This 3-game stretch. Can you beat up on bad teams that are beat up?
And then in the weeks after, we'll see Cavs, we'll see Knicks, we'll see Heat. So hopefully you can kind of get rolling
Sixers.
Here, and then let's see how you play all those teams who are all 6 wins or better thus far this season.
Go win the cup again. Do that.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Probably will be the Thunder again because they just don't lose games.
Yeah.
10-1.
Who'd they lose to? The Bulls?
Yeah. I know. I don't remember who they lost to. Was it the Bulls?
Who did they lose to?
They
I can't remember.
lost to... Pulling it up now.
Ooh.
Oh, that's preseason. I hate that it shows me preseason.
Ooh. Portland, that's worse.
In Portland. Yeah. They've been pretty good post... They got Chauncey out of there and they went on a winning streak. Kind of weird.
The FBI changed their life.
Yeah. Yeah, as it's done for so many of us.
It's not a good piece of evidence for Chauncey, allegedly.
No comment here. I'm not. I've done enough geopolitics in my day. I'm not touching this one.
We may be wrapping up this part, but this is not the end of the podcast. We have a fun conversation tapped in right now with Monis Khan, who's the editor-in-chief of Bucks Plus. Ty, do you want to give a little bit of explanation?
Yeah, I mean, this was really cool. So we've gotten to know Monis. He had us on the Here District for Bucks Podfest earlier this year, kind of around the start of the season. And we're looking forward to hopefully collaborating more. And we learned that they were launching some great new projects, a new season of Behind the Bucks, their documentary show, as well as the Bucks Beat, an ongoing kind of interview series with people who cover the Bucks on WTMJ. So want to just hear more about that and just learn more about Bucks Plus and Monis, who brought a ton of energy and spoke at length about kind of their mission, navigating like not being a homer, but also being kind of objective and kind of that whole like the art of punditry even and how it's changed, and a really interesting conversation. Loved having Monis on. I'm sure we'll talk to him again. And he teased a really fun project that they've got coming later in the season, probably early 2026, that I can't wait to listen to, and I can't wait to see all of our listeners guessing what it's going to be. So I thought it was a good tease, hints of info, but didn't give us the whole picture on the show at least. So can't wait for that as well.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun conversation and can't wait to see what they're doing. But in the meantime, enjoy our conversation with Monis Khan.
All right, Rohan, a departure from our usual chatting about the Milwaukee Bucks to chatting with someone working with the Milwaukee Bucks on their great audio programming. We're joined by Monis Khan, editor-in-chief of Bucks Plus, which is, if you're unaware, the official podcast network of the Milwaukee Bucks. Very excited to have Monis on the show here. We've been in communication for a little bit. We got the invite to join the Here District as part of Bucks Podfest, which we'll talk about, which was awesome. Anytime we can interact with the legend, Marcus Johnson, is a great day for us, but excited to learn about more of what's going on at Bucks Plus here on this special segment. Monis, how's it going today? Happy Friday. We'll peel back the curtain. It's Friday as we're recording. A great weekday. How's it going today for you?
Beautiful day. Looking forward to a great weekend of basketball. And just trying to figure out what I need to do to get around this YouTube TV Monday Night Football situation. So I got a weekend to figure it out. But hopefully by Monday, when all of our guests are joining us, we will have learned how we can tune in to this Monday Night Football matchup.
I'm glad even people in media don't know how this works. I'm glad it's not just me.
I haven't Googled it yet.
Yeah, you got to Google it first.
Gemini has not told me the answer to my question.
Often doesn't, or at least doesn't get it right. But for Bucks Plus, I'm sure probably all of our listeners are familiar with the shows that you all are putting out, especially the Here District, again, with our Hall of Famer, our GOAT, other people say differently, Marcus Johnson and Chris Johnson. But in case they aren't familiar with all of the work that you're doing, or, what Bucks Plus is versus the individual shows, could you just kind of walk us through like the origin of launching this, where it came from, your involvement, and, the shows you're doing, what's going on with Bucks Plus?
The most exciting thing about Bucks Plus is that it is actually the first podcast network that a professional sports team in America has ever launched. And so you see the Magic and Cavs, and a lot of people have gotten into podcasting, obviously. But no team really had such a comprehensive slate of programming as the one that I was fortunate to kind of inherit when they hired me as the editor-in-chief a few months after they launched the network. It's a really exciting project, a collaboration with Good Karma Brands. The CEO of Good Karma Brands, Craig Karmazin, is a minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. And so when the Bucks said, the lore goes that when the Bucks said they wanted to launch a podcast network and didn't necessarily have all of the resources internally and the infrastructure to do the production and the recording and the editing and the turnaround, Good Karma Brands, a longtime partner, WTMJ is the home of the Milwaukee Bucks on radio. And so longtime partner with the Bucks. Good Karma Brands was right there ready to basically bring their vision into reality. And so a few months in, they hired me, which was an exciting opportunity, building off my experience at ESPN, where I worked to help launch The Undefeated, which is now called Anscape. So it was just amazing to be able to work on 4 programs on Bucks Plus, Here District, hosted by Marcus Johnson and Chris Johnson. And I think like really being part of a community of like the most robust space of Bucks content, which is, potting about the team. So Gyro Step, Locked On. So Here District is basically, you could say a heavyweight entrant into that,
that's fair to say. No, that's, you could say that. Yeah, that's fair.
And, but I think just really like picking up on that energy. I think what brings so much of us and fulfills so much of us, nourishes so much of our appetite for Bucks content. Like I think so many people like Gyro Step, Locked On especially, like is able to do it at a higher cadence. Your District is a weekly show, but we try to bring in new voices into that conversation, which is the biggest names in basketball. Little bit of a heater lately. Shea Serrano, been chasing him for a long time. Zach Lowe, holy moly. Yeah. What it was like to have him. Bobby Portis the week before that. So those are the just type of guests that we try to bring on, to bring into the Bucks conversation. And one thing, a lot of people, I think is fair to say, well, this high profile journalist is a certified Bucks hater, longtime Bucks hater. Why are you talking to them? Well, for me, I think, dude, let's talk about the hatred. Like, why are we hating? Like, why do we have to hate? And yeah, I feel like it's natural for anyone to come on a show. They're not going to be a hater on the show. Nobody's going to keep that energy. Nobody's going to stay on that side when they're in conversation with Marcus Johnson. But I think when you start talking about the details around the team, you might start to lean into a new way to look at the team as the season continues, as the team solidifies within the Eastern Conference, and you're talking about end-of-year awards. Maybe you're open to an MVP conversation. Maybe you're open to an MIP conversation. That if you're not talking to Marcus Johnson about it, if you're not talking to Chris Johnson about it, are you necessarily so attuned to the argument? At the end of the day, it's all storytelling. It's all narrative driven. Well, here's our narrative. Come into our narrative on Here District. Behind the Bucks is an exciting program because we go long form. We go documentary style. We go what I like to call cinematic. And that's really the idea behind the Bucks. It's a 30 for 30 style treatment for the story, the history of the Milwaukee Bucks. It's big swings, big talent. And that's another, I think, totally new opportunity for Bucks fans. All access, my teammates on the Bucks video side, they're covering games every day. They're making amazing videos and telling the story of every game every month. They don't necessarily have the bandwidth and the capacity to step back and tell that story and talk to childhood coaches and talk to people, in the broader world of basketball about the team. They're talking to people in the building. So Behind the Bucks get to open up that purview and that scope, talk to people in the world of basketball, in the life of the people that we are telling that story of. I think that's an exciting opportunity. Bucks in 6 minutes. Every game, dude. Sometimes it's hard to stay up. We got kids, bedtime. Sometimes we miss a stretch of the game. Well, luckily we got Greg Matzik and a great bullpen of storytellers telling us that story in 6 minutes of the game from last night. And then lastly, this is a real sleeper in the Bucks Plus catalog. Gail Klappa and Courtside. Honestly, like nobody has the access to the people like Gail Klappa does. And the way that they feel comfortable, like talking to him, you're talking about a John Horst who just appeared on last night on the show, a Doc Rivers, Miles Turner, the owners of the team.
Yeah.
Like who talks to literally, I try to consume as much Bucks content as anyone. I don't know who talks to Jimmy Haslam.
Yeah.
Like Wes Edens. Like maybe Wes once a year, but like Jimmy Haslam? Who talks to Jimmy Haslam? Well, I'll tell you one guy who does. Gil Clapper. Not me though. I wouldn't even know what to say to Jimmy. But But I think I would get all, like, what was that, Jimmy? Nice guy. Hope you're doing good. But Gail, he has a lot to say and great comfort. And they are able to have these really interesting conversations. And the only place you're going to get that is courtside. So I appreciate, just being able to run down our roster of programming for all our fans in case no one is in our world of Bucks Plus, at Bucks Plus Audio across social media. And that way you won't miss a thing that we're coming up with.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, there's so much good content out there. You mentioned Behind the Bucks, season 5, just dropped. It's, like you were saying, it's more documentary style podcasting. The Hall of Famer, deserving Hall of Famer, I should say, Marcus Johnson is narrating this season. Why do you think it's important for the Bucks to put out content, especially like this type of documentary style, to give fans more of an inside perspective?
I think fans want to know who these people are. They love these guys, right? Like, we freaking love Ryan Rollins. Like, we freaking love our guys. But how much do we really even know about them? Journalism is eroding. Like, the resources that create really good journalism, it's like a fraction of what it was when it was most robust. Like 10, 15 years ago, you would have had profiles written probably over the course of these guys' careers, like on each player on the team. But now, like, who gets the profile treatment? Like, Ryan Rollins hasn't gotten the profile treatment since he was at Toledo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the thing is that their stories are incredible. Like, we're discovering talents in the second round who are coming into the NBA and really finding their identity, establishing themselves as viable role players plus players in the NBA. Hey, spoiler alert, these guys been bucket getters. They've been getting buckets. Like, as fans, we see the high school mixtapes. We might see a little highlight reel from when they were in college. We know maybe the controversies that might have bubbled up, but we just don't know what these guys have gone through to become NBA players. Kind of that human story of overcoming adversity and triumph that I think is like extraordinarily compelling. And that's where Bucks Plus tries to sort of do that work, right? Who has the bandwidth to do it? Who has the resources to do it? Who has the time to do it when they're chasing game, talking about the game that happened last night? That's what our beat writers are doing. They don't necessarily have the capacity to be telling these more longer form stories. And so that's, I feel grateful for the opportunity to be able to do that on Behind the Bucks.
It's funny. You mentioned just like these guys being bucket getters. One of my jokes on the show has been like, every time there's like the new big Rollins game, there's somebody who hasn't maybe been around the team as much in the post-game presser. And the question is basically like, were you surprised that you're good? Like, variations of that. And Rollins kills me because he's always like, no, like I've been good. Like, I've literally not had the opportunity. So I love getting to like hear more from, or learn more and hear more from these guys where, like, you look back and I remember when the Bucks first signed him, like a guy who had almost never just gotten to play, like G League or NBA. Like, it wasn't that he tried and failed. Like, he had some unfortunate injuries and just wasn't playing and got caught up in this big trade with Jordan Poole and Chris Paul. But one good example, many more stories like this that you guys are telling. One thing that I wanted to ask, and I always find this fascinating, is it ever difficult as you're producing all this content, whether it's, like the Hero District, which is more like our show, right? Like conversational, more up-to-date, a lot of interviews, but more like here's what's going on. Or the documentary style, like, here's the setting the stage for the season, like the latest Behind the Bucks. But finding that line between you're covering the team, but you're part of the team, right? Like, you're not outside of it, and I think, like, we keep talking about him because he's very involved and he's literally the perfect person to host a Bucks podcast. But I think Marcus Johnson does a really good job on the Bucks broadcast of, he is supporting the team and players, but also keeping it real. Like, oh, they're not doing this well. Like, this coverage isn't working or that action isn't working. Are there any, like, how do you think about that at all? Does it come up? Like, how do you navigate that as you're making these shows of like, let's not be like a complete, everything's amazing. This is the all NBA team should be all Bucks versus here's what's really going on.
I think the focus is always hear what's going on telling the truth because we all got eyes. We're watching the same clips. We're responding to the same emotions. I mean, who cares more about this team and is with us on this roller coaster more than Marcus Johnson?
Yeah.
And I just think like there's so many ways to respond to what we're seeing. You know, we love this team. We want this team to be successful. Like, we know what's at stake, right? Like Giannis told us last season, like, he was joking around, pointing at guys like, if we're not good this season, you're going to get, you know, like, we know what's at stake.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so hard when the team blows it against the Raptors or, you know, or is not able to put it all together in crunch time, maybe against the Cavs, although we were like, okay, it's the Cavs and, you know, we were 2 or 3 plays away. But I think that, you know, I think about this about all sports. I think about this as just like a person who's been covering sports like a long time. And this is sort of, I think, what we are all on the same page with when we're trying to tell the story of the team is like, what's the point of thinking that everything is over, thinking that it can never be redeemed? The thing that I love about sports is the reason why, as a storyteller, I find sports to be so compelling is because nothing shows the human, like really this root human quality of being able to triumph at any moment. You know, like the Spartans at 300 or, you know, like against, you know, just odds that would have obliterated every other circumstance in history. But here's the time that we triumph. I mean, talk about Phoenix, talk about game 6, talk about Bucks in 6, like talk about the prophecy being fulfilled. Like talk about Giannis. I'm not going to just believe that these guys can't get it together. You got an organization full of freaking champions. Last time I checked, they got it within them to do it. You know, we got bucket getters. We got guys who want to be good. Okay, listen. This is what it's going to come down to. When you're around the team, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to be good at stuff. They're trying to win. They don't sit there and like fight and point fingers, like all the stuff where you're watching like the locker room totally disintegrate and you're like watching a team just totally implode and you're like, how many times have we seen it in a locker room? We see it in sports all the time. Like, what is going on in the Grizzlies locker room?
Yeah.
Does that, like, if you're a Grizzlies spectator, are you thinking, you know what's going to happen to this team? They're going to turn it around. When you got a star player, like basically being like, nah, I'm not listening to my coach. Like, you know what doesn't happen on the Bucks? They never act like that. And so when I see them not getting, what were we, 2-8 last year?
Yeah.
Like, when I saw them in the locker room, never losing faith in one another, never losing faith in the coach. Like, I wasn't there during the Adrian Griffin era, so I didn't know what that was like, right? But I'm saying that if that's what you're seeing, you're probably going to have a different read on it. Yeah. If you're seeing guys come together every single day, go on a crazy run to end the regular season last year, constantly get down and get back up, and have the resume that they have, I'm just going to read it glass half full.
Yeah.
And I just think that's fair. And I'm not doing it because like of some type of loyalty. I'm doing it because I believe in these guys, man. I believe in the spirit. I believe in the culture. I believe in what it's made of, right? The constitution of who these people are. And that's what's going to... So when Marcus says, hey, this is what you can do better, you know what? Who else is saying it? Probably Doc. You know who else is saying? Probably the guys in the locker room. You think we're telling them what they can... They know what they can do better. They watch film. They want to be great. And so, you know, I think that maybe it's just like a privilege of being part of being part of a group and being part of a process that literally cares. And it allows you to be constructive in terms of analyzing what is going on the court.
You got me fired up, man.
I'm ready to
go
run through a wall. I could give him a couple minutes.
Ready.
I know Prince is out tonight. They don't need some missed threes and fouls. I could probably step up. This has been great.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool to hear that perspective. Yeah. And it's we joke about, we like to joke that Doc listens to our pod and tries to get his tactics from there. But we know, obviously that's if we're seeing it, they're obviously seeing it. So it's good to see that perspective. One thing that you at Bucks Plus have done recently, you are getting ready to launch the Bucks Beat recently, which is a WTMJ radio show featuring interviews from those who are covering the Bucks. Friend of the pod, Justin Garcia, was on the inaugural episode. Like we talked about a little bit earlier, it kind of follows off of Gear District, where we got to do Bucks Podfest, where me and Ti were able to join for an episode. Why do you think, as you continue to do these types of things, why do you think it's important to include and also to highlight the work that quote unquote unofficial Bucks podcasts are doing to cover the team?
I just think that, we've talked about how journalism has eroded. We've talked about how the beat has eroded. There used to be 6 local writers, covering the team, maybe more than that. There used to be so many more resources on the ground covering local teams. Now you're just seeing all of those resources sort of be redistributed to the national level. And you're seeing how fans are just so sick of hearing people talk about, especially a small market team like the Bucks. Are you guys even watching the games? And so I think what social media and the way that video and the way that TikTok and the way that all of these platforms have sort of changed how content is being created and how easy it is to make content, it's allowed people to do that work, dude. I see people doing work. You know what I see? I see people grinding. I see sickos. I see people who are, it's crazy how much they're in their personal time trying to create informed. That's what I call it. I call it being informed. I call it having informed perspectives. And informed perspectives is what used to make up, what used to qualify you to be a beat writer. Right now, the people getting paid the most money don't even have to be informed. They don't even have to, or whether they are informed or not, that's not what they're asked to do. Right. They're asked to kind of talk real wild and crazy. And that doesn't have to come from a place of being informed. So that the way in which fans have sort of taken up that responsibility and filled that vacuum, for me, I'm just game recognized game. I try to hold myself to a certain standard of being informed. And the fact that I am getting out hustled maybe on a day-to-day basis by guys who are on Twitter, I gotta do one of these to my guys and women, who are really bringing it. And that's why I really like the Bucks Beat, because that's what matters to me. That's what I get fired up about. I get fired up about you guys. I get fired up about guys putting in the work, who love the game, who love the team. And I think what's kind of a subtext of our conversation, and I'd be interested to chat with you guys about that, is sort of the fallacy of objectivity within sports journalism, right? I just am personally, I just am more of a what you see is what you get kind of brother, And so I love my teams. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize for being a Bucks fan. I'm not going to apologize for being a Packers fan. And that doesn't mean that I somehow can't be in this conversation. It just sounds so crazy to me. And I think maybe one of the more positive aspects of the erosion of sports journalism is that fallacy has been debunked. If Mina Kimes can have a Seahawks tattoo and be literally one of the most credible, and I hate for all you incels out there who hate her, sorry, she knows ball.
She's
like,
so incredible.
Hate to
Every
break
clip,
it to
I'm
you.
just like, oh my God,
She's the best.
This Dolphins
The best.
defensive end trade is so fascinating to me hearing her. She's so good at what she does.
Like, I'm out here repping, and I am out here, like, being, like, also telling the truth. So I just feel like being a fan gives you a stake. It gives you a vantage point in history and to kind of like be able to get the temperature of how people feel about what's going on the court. And then there's no one way to be a fan. I'm not going to police people who feel doom and gloom because we freaking blew it to the Panthers. Go ahead. Like, think that everything is ruined forever in week freaking 9. Like, go ahead. You act like that, and I'll respect it, and I'll listen to it, and I'll understand your perspective. I just think it doesn't matter how we performed against the Panthers when it comes to how we're going to perform in the playoffs. Like, those are 2 different seasons. Like, maybe, hey guys, maybe the fact that we got kicked in the nuts is actually going to help us sack up when it really matters. Sometimes taking an L is what you need to have happen in order to get that W. Like, look at what happened against the Nets. You don't think taking those L's help these guys win it all? That's crazy to me. I'm never gonna lose my mind over an L.
Rohan,
unless it's like only L's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's like a season worth of L's and you got your guys out there and they're just blowing it, okay, like, let's throw in the towel. But like, other than that, I believe it when I see it, baby. I'm a Wisconsin sports fan. We don't take L's like that. We make the playoffs. We get W's around here. I'm happy 50 games out of the regular season as a Bucks fan. I'm happy 10 games. I got 10 victory Mondays. You can clock that. And I'm going to be happy on a victory Monday. And you can be mad that we didn't win enough, but that's not me. And so I just think that it's evolving. People who love the game, you can feel my passion for the game. That's what makes me, like, I think, like, credible as, like, a sports journalist, is that I'm fired up, that I have a stake in it, that I know what it means when things don't go the way that you thought they were going to go. And that allows us to tell stories that might be more resonant. I think that's like the thesis, is like, if you have a stake in it and you are trying your best every day to be as informed as you can possibly be, then you are in a great position to tell that story.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we could do a whole nother episode, I feel like, on the changes in punditry and, can you be a fan now? You clearly can. People like, I think, Mina have, and I mean, even going back, and Bill Simmons, right? And I think that's the reason that I'll never feel bad about, like, okay, I picked the Bucks to win it all every year with like a slight wink, right? And I pick Giannis MVP every year before the season. Kind of same deal. I think more legitimate, is because there's been the opposite perspective forever internalized at the largest media outlets of like, we don't really care about that team. So I feel like we're not even close to balancing it out. And I don't think, the funny thing is, I feel like, Rohan, and I'm interested to hear what you think. We're so hyper aware of our perspective that sometimes we probably aren't even high enough on the Bucks in some circumstances.
Yeah, we almost lose our own perspective because we're so in tune with our own perspective.
Before the Rollins podcast, all the national people were like, oh my God, he looks so good. All the national people were like, oh my God, this guy looks, and we were like, oh good, okay, it's not just us. Like, we're not, we can believe our eyes on this one. Like, it's so interesting how the dynamics work that way.
I just think, like, for this kind of stuff, like, everybody has to play their role and just do their job. And it's not your job to litigate whether Jokic is more deserving of MVP than Giannis. It's your job to talk about what you're seeing, the time you're investing, and if it makes you feel like Giannis is the best in the world. Hate to break it to everybody who disagrees, but there's a solid case for that.
Yeah. And
every night we get to see it, and the detractors and the goalposts constantly are moving. Like, Giannis's 2-point shot. Okay, everyone is like, analytics, the 3-point shot. Well, if it's all about efficiency. Like, that's why they say the 3-point shot is so valuable, because 3 is 50% more than 2. And if you make, thus, even if you make 40% of the shots instead of 6, that's like making 7, that's the reason why people want them shooting threes. Well, I hate to break it to you. Giannis is like the most efficient player. Like, he's having a historically efficient true shooting season. And so if your argument, and I don't know, is the brother 6 from 9 from 3 this season? Like, not that like, people can talk about sample size or whatever, but dude, the brother knows when to take a good shot. And now that argument is used to like boost the case of one player, and then same argument used to detract the case from another player. I mean, I just think that it's fair. And because it's fair, then it has value. Like, if we were just sitting here just making stuff up and doing some type of like ludicrous, 1984 level of like unreality and spewing things that aren't real, then yeah, I think everyone should have a problem with that. But like, that's not what's happening. And so that's why I don't problematize like this conversation, because like if honestly, if you guys aren't going to tell the story about Giannis and why he is BIT dub, then like, who's going to do it? And isn't a guy, look at what he does every day. 30, 12, 13, 30 plus, 13 plus, 6, 7, monster on defense. He's the only guy in the NBA who always makes, regularly, I would say, makes game-winning plays on defense. Like, we're talking, he made a game winner. But like, what about the fact that he does that on defense? Like, who does that on defense? Who does things that are physically impossible to do? Like, rotate and like be here and then be there and then get the, like, who does stuff like that? It's a cartoon. We get to watch it every day. If people aren't telling that story, then we're like, okay, if they're going to make a documentary in 10 years, then it's just going to blow everybody's mind. Hey, Dad, was there really a guy who did that every day? Dad, is this like humanly possible? The box scores, the talent, the freaking domination, what it feels like, what it looks like. Dad, is this humanly possible? I'm like, brother, I saw it. Dad, did you tell that story? Did the world know when it was happening? Well, we just didn't know if it was, that's why we do it. We do it so when it's a Netflix documentary, they're not looking at us who were there when it was happening saying, dude, what were you doing when it was happening? No, I was locked in and I was trying to let them know. And I've been trying to let them know. And that's our responsibility.
Yeah. And the best part is we'll have film of it, unlike some 100-point games that have happened in the past.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We are living in history. It's a cartoon world that we get to watch every day. And dude, think about how the Bucks didn't have a 20-point scorer for like over a decade. Like, not even an all-star. Like, they didn't have an all-star. They didn't even have a guy who could get 20 for like over a decade. And now we got who gets a guy who gets over 30 for like 5 years in a row? Like, that's crazy. And I don't know. I just never want to lose that perspective of like everybody can be caught up in like the disappointment, but when your expectations are like this, like what other room do you have? It's like championship or bust. Like, you're just gonna feel bad unless you win a championship. Like, who gets to win a championship? Who gets to be healthy? Who gets to like, we weren't even healthy and we got to win. Like, who gets to do that? Yeah. And so I just think like, anyways, that's why I'm so fired up. That's why I love the opportunity. And that's why I just feel grateful to be witness to history and thus have the responsibility and try to really live up to that responsibility that people, if they're wondering like, Dame Lillard like was on the Bucks. Sometimes you're on Wikipedia and you're like learning, whoa, this player was really good. Whoa, randomly like this happened to that player. Like, that's just so crazy. It's like Dame Lillard in Milwaukee, like that's going to be one of those things. And then like, what was it? Like, oh, he was a 2-time All-Star game MVP the first time he ever was an All-Star starter. People are going to be like, damn, like what happened? Like, what was that? And then they're going to be like, oh, Behind the Bucks literally told that story of that entire era in a definitive, authoritative way that if you were wondering what that was like here's Chris Haynes and Dame and all the people who know Dame telling you what that was like. That's really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to live up to this moment in history. And I just think that, like, as long as you got Giannis on the squad, as long as you got him playing the way he's playing, like, you really got to be ready to witness greatness. And I appreciate you guys. And I think that we try to do it in a different way. And I think that's the responsibility. And I hope fans can tell us when we, whether we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, the stories that they want to hear more about, and then we'll just be able to follow up with those.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't take this platform that we have for granted. I get to talk about my favorite team and my favorite player. It's awesome. It's really cool. And thanks for shining a light on that. I just wanted to ask, is there anything else you're cooking at the moment that fans can expect to see throughout the season? Or is there any project that we haven't really talked about that you want to talk about?
I think that we are making something that is very, I just want to say extraordinary. Like, I just want to say that I'm recording and producing the next season of Behind the Bucks. And this is something we've been working on for 6 months, 7 months. And why did it take 7 months to do it? Because it was hard to find Don Nelson, dude.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was hard to find. Like, I'm just saying he's one of 30 characters. Like, he's a very, almost you could say like a peripheral character. But we're telling a story that, like, he's a peripheral character of. But, like, the first interview I did for this project, Jim Paschke was like, gave me a nugget about how Don was like, had something to do with it. And then, like, but he really didn't, but like how it kind of had something to do with him. So, like, for 7 months, I'm chasing every Hall of Famer. We got like 15 of them.
Yeah.
15 Naismith Hall of Famers, like, from all over the world. Like, you know how hard it is to get on the phone with the guy in Lithuania? Like, do you know? It's not easy, dude. And also, it might have to be at 3 a.m. Central Time. So, like, what we had to do to sort of tell this story. And, like, the layers of it are like, okay, I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to talk to these people who were there. And, like, we can keep the scope of it right here because a few people were there. Guy over here, guy over there, guy over there. And you kind of start you do the reporting. And you're kind of like, oh, my God. Like, this is way bigger than, and if I'm talking to you, then I kind of have a responsibility to talk to the next one. And the second that Rick Welts, who is the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, like, the second you're kind of like, they told me to talk to Rick. Rick is in the Hall of Fame. They tell me to talk to Rick. I'm like, okay, well, he's the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. He's not going to talk to me. So I email, go through the process of like trying to get it in front of him, Then luckily the Mavs are like, okay, well, we'll, like, how many times people say they'll escalate it or get it in front of somebody and it just never, and then you talk to them, they're like, oh, no one told me about this. They gatekept me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. But they're like, okay, like, this is so random. Like, why would Rick, like, the Mavs, this was last June or something when I talked to him. Like, think about what's going on with the Mavs in June of last year, or May of last year, or
Fresh
April
out
of
the
last
finals
year.
or going
think
to the
about,
finals.
Like the Luka trade.
Oh, that
the number one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like the Luka trade happened. Then I email to be like, hey, random thing I'm trying to talk to Rick Welts about. Then the Mavs are like, okay, yeah, like, Rick's going to want to talk to that. Then they email me back like, this never happens, like, within a day. And they're like, they literally are like, for some reason, Rick wants to talk to you about this. And then it's like, if you're going to have Rick Welts talk about it, then you're going to want, and nobody knows who these people are. That's why I feel comfortable saying it. But, like, then you're going to want Russ Granick. Russ Granick was the deputy commissioner of the NBA. He's, like, super retired. This guy's a legend in the game. Like, when people talk about these guys, like, they put so much respect on these guys just because of the people that they were and, like, what they did to take the league where it is today. Like, then I'm like, man, I'm talking to Rick. Like, I might as well talk to Russ. And then it takes 6 weeks for me to find him, right? It takes me 4 emails for him to respond to me. Like, But then eventually he talks. And so I think that, like, you know, for Behind the Bucks, we tried to have, you know, Chris Haynes, like Jim Paschke did the first season, and then Lisa Byington narrated the second season, and then we got Chris Haynes the next season, and then, like, we're always trying to bring that type of energy, like that type of star power to Behind the Bucks narration and kind of storytelling. The guy who we got to do the narration on this next season, I think it's going to surprise people. Like, it feels like big. And we're in the crate, like we're in the archive, we're digging up things. People don't give us, you know, history. Who cares about history? Like, you guys know, you guys care about Bucks history. Like, do people care about Nelly? Do people care about the fact that he, like, we were winning, like, so extraordinarily during the Nelly era? Like, I don't think people care. And maybe I care, but, like, I don't think people care. But we're trying to tell a story of Bucks history, and we're really trying our best to be like, this is why you should care. And the weird thing to me was how many, the 30 plus people we interviewed for this project, like over a dozen Hall of Famers, like how much they cared to talk about this. And I think that's why it took as long as it did. Like, I caught Don Nelson, like I was probably trying to call him for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months maybe. I was trying to, like, it took me like literally 5 months to get his number.
Yeah.
Then I get it. Then it's not even called phone tag when he's just screening your calls, right?
It's one way. So, yeah, it's not tag.
We got this weird time difference between here and Hawaii.
I was going to say, he's in Hawaii, right? He's on like a farm in Hawaii
that's like,
or something.
Dude, when he's like with it, I'm feeding my toddler dinner and he doesn't want to eat dinner and I'm super stressed out and like bedtime and like, I'm not going to call you back after I wrestle my kid to bed. Like, I'm done. Like, there's no activity going on over here at that point. So that's not when I'm going to hit you up, even though that's probably when you're going to pick up the phone. So we're just going to play this game over the course of weeks, over the course of months, that I might get you. And for some reason, I don't know, serendipity, like, he picked up the phone the other day and he was like, F it. Like, who are you? Like, what are we talking about? And he's like, okay, fine. Like, I'll talk about that. And we talked for about 10, 15 minutes and it kind of put the bow on, it's like where the series started in terms of the storytelling is now where the series ended. That is kind of like an unusual, I think I took you on an unusual preview of our next series, but you guys tune in. Well, who knows, in the next coming weeks, whether it's going to be December, whether it's going to be January, that we actually finish it. But when we start rolling it out, maybe you'll say, hey, we should talk to Monis about this. And then we can talk about whether I hyped it up too much.
This is that's a great way to preview it. And I know we have some. I mean, Jordan Tresky literally just wrote a book on our team here about the Kareem days, like the very early Bucks. But I know him and we have some historians who I think are going to be trying to connect dots now. I think there's going to be a lot of hype for this project.
I gave you a few references.
A lot. Yeah, I know. I think it's going to be.
But I don't think I gave you the good ones. You know, like, I think I gave you some, but I think if you start, like, asking yourself, like, when would these guys all be in a conversation with each other? Then and what history was made at that point? Then it's kind of like becomes, I don't know about fairly obvious. I'm super deep into it.
Yeah.
And anyways, I think that it was crazy thing that happened. And like, people might just say, I think from the outside looking in, when I learned about it, I was like, that was like a one-off. Like, this moment in history was like a one-off. It just felt like kind of like a thing that happened, but like, okay, that's the scope of it. A thing happened. But like, when I learned about what that thing was, I realized that the NBA that we enjoy today, the conversation that we had today, we're literally not having this conversation if the Bucks weren't there at that time to do that thing. And that's pretty cool, man. That matters.
I'm going to wait to guess until we're done with the combo.
If you really want to know what I'm talking about, I asked Giannis about it. And when I asked him about it, it was super random.
Okay. I keep like, oh, maybe I got it. Maybe I don't. I don't want to guess on here. I don't want to But
I'll just say that if people are like watching pressers and stuff like that, and they're like, "Damn, that was random as hell." Like, why are they bringing that up? Like, that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. I know. I just you don't get to ask Giannis questions that often, and like you're gonna ask him like after like a win or a loss in the locker room, like, "Hey, bro, like this random thing happened like 40 years ago. Like, what are your thoughts on?" That's not the time or the place to do it. And so, I don't know. That could be like a little hint if someone was like, "Damn." And I just want to say, like, I know it was random. I was super self-conscious about it. But when you listen to that nugget in the story that we're telling, it's really going to be like, wow, now I get it. Now it makes sense. And that's what I did it for. I took an L in that moment of like embarrassing myself, humiliating myself in front of everyone to be like, what is this random dude on? And, but it's like, no, guys, just like give me 3 months to show you why I did that.
I can't wait. None of us can wait. We're really excited for this. We're excited for everything that is coming out of Bucks Plus. Monis, thank you very much for the time. I think you already mentioned it, but please share with our listeners if they somehow don't know where they can find all this great content, and yourself. I know you're posting a bit on the socials as well.
Yeah, big retweeter over here. Big retweeter. So I Bucks Plus, dude. Here District is on YouTube. That's where I think people should watch it because it's freaking sweet. Like when you get to see it and you get to see them, and we got B-roll, and it just, to me, like, people talk about audio and podcasting. Like, the way that I think about it is that this is premium content. Like, we are pulling out all the stops to give you literally the best in-class content that we can do. And so for Here District, you can watch it. So I would suggest on the Bucks official YouTube channel every week on Tuesdays, we're dropping new episodes. Dan Devine coming up next Tuesday. Nice. Very exciting. He wrote this great piece on Ryan Rollins.
Yep.
And it's a great conversation. And then Behind the Bucks, that is your documentary style podcast. When you're in the car, when you're doing laundry, I don't know, like, people listen to it before they go to sleep, but that's really when you can immerse yourself in this documentary that you listen to. So that's on Behind the Bucks is on Spotify. Behind the Bucks is on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's on the Bucks YouTube channel too, but it is not as in video. And then Bucks and Six, same thing. Everywhere you get your podcasts. Courtside, everywhere you get your podcasts. Bucks Beat weekly on WTMJ and on their YouTube channel. And I am at Mr. Big Fits on X, where you will see me retweeting Bucks Plus content 99% of the time. And so just follow at Bucks Plus Audio, I would suggest. And on Instagram, where I'm getting takes off, I'm getting fits off. Me, I'm kind of keeping it interesting on my Instagram feed at The Big Mo Show. So, but I appreciate you guys. Ti, Rohan, this was really lovely. I'm grateful to both of you. More importantly than even having me on, just like the work that you guys are doing, your commitment to our community, to the cause, and like just how important you two are in, fans being able to be tapped into the team. Like, I really believe that Bucks Plus, all the work that we're doing, it really stands on the shoulder of guys like Eric Name, guys like Jim Ozarski, and guys like you. I really think that together, like, it takes literally everyone. And now Bucks Plus is just trying to be a utility within that, right? Trying to bring another element to it, but it all works together. And that's why this is awesome. And I can't wait to get you guys on the Bucks Beat, and I'm always here to help out however we can.
That's awesome. I appreciate it, Monis. Thank you so much for your time, all the kind words, and all the energy on the pod. I can't believe I have to finish my workday after this, but that's all we got. Pod random, and we'll talk to you next time.